y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Logic Nation. Today's January 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here. I got Susan
Hard to say
Stroh.
that, isn't it?
Yeah,
2020.
January 3rd, 2020. Or 2020, what's easier?
No, 2020.
I don't know. I'm getting the year right, but I'm messing up the
2020.
the
Yeah,
months.
okay. That works.
But get your cup of coffee. We'll be good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, are we at war or what? We've been at war with these guys, Iran, verbally, proxy-wise, and now we're taking out top generals, which, you know, he was a bad person anyway. Might be a whole better world without this guy. And then the only problem is once you pluck that weed, you got 4 more weeds popping up as well. So we're going to be talking about this and a whole bunch of other stuff. I got Bill Whitmire, Republican chair, coming in. He'll be here in just a second. And we'll be discussing it. Want to get your opinions on it. The number here is 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media at Facebook at Logic Nation Radio. YouTube at youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio. Last night, I was spending hours. What I normally do is I wait till later in the afternoon before I start scanning and searching the news, because that's when a lot of the news breaks. And so I'm there diligently preparing the show, getting it ready. Spent about a good 4 hours because I like to read the articles and cross-reference and write down notes and things like that. And then I just had to go to bed early. So I went to bed right around 9 o'clock and wake up this morning like, I threw all my show prep out the window. But I'll tell you what, we already got the phones hopping. Let me get Gary on the line here. He wants to talk about Iran. Gary, stand by and see what you got to say, buddy. Welcome to the show. Thanks for calling. How you doing this morning, Gary?
Doing great, and I think we've opened up a whole new can of worms.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too. I mean, I'm torn in both directions because they need to have their nose punched. Look, if you're in a fight, if you're on the street and somebody's messing with you, you put them down so they realize, I'm not going to mess with this guy again. And so if we're going to punch him in the nose, we need to knock him in the head too. Otherwise, don't punch him in the nose to begin with. But they're striking us. We've got to do something. Otherwise, we look weak.
Well, I think it was said on the news, and this is one time I kind of agree with them. Both Bush and Obama, they did something like this to them, and they kind of smoothed it over. But Trump's not that way. They're going to find out fast he don't play that game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was kind of getting at. It's we either do what you just said with Bush and all that, or we punch him in the nose and knock him over the head and say, look, we're done. We're tired. The people of Iran are tired of this too. I'm reading tweets from people from Iraq and Iran, and they're saying how thankful they are to the president for taking this scumbag out. I mean, he's not good people. He's a bad person. He's doing terrible things. He's causing strife all over. The only problem is now you got to worry for a tit-for-tat type of deal. We got sleeper cells all over Europe, and we got sleeper cells in the United States. Got Hezbollah. Who knows what they're going to do? So we just got to be vigilant and stay prepared.
I think that puts everybody else on, notice that, hey, Trump doesn't back down.
That's right. That's one positive thing about that, because the people of the world will see he when he says something, he means it. And he's not going to draw a red line and then extend the red line and extend the red line. You cross the line, and you're going to get what you get. So
Yeah. And another thing too, if you're a scholar of the Bible, we're in the end times. So one of these times, that's going to be it.
Well, I know what you're talking about. We cannot stop the inevitable. We may be able to delay it, but we definitely cannot stop it. So is this
Right.
the end time? I don't know. I would never claim to say I do know. All I know is I know it's coming. And so I try to stay vigilant to the best way I can. So and I hope you do that too. But I agree with your points there. Gary, you got anything else?
No, that was it. And I'm glad Trump did what he did.
All right. Well, let's see what else we got here. We got another caller on the line. Let me see what their take is on it. So I appreciate your call, Gary. Let me get
Have a blessed day.
you too. Let me get Mark on the line. Mark, thanks for the call. Thanks for listening. What's on your mind?
Oh, all the same things you all been talking about, but I just kind of tuned in, but watching, waking up and getting ready. I've been studying this since 8, 9 years old, and I got baptized. I'm a SAC Air Command Air Force brat in Spokane, Washington. They had less than 3 minutes to get those aircraft airborne when we were in the Cold War, and they did it, and we still do it to this day, even though the name's been changed.
Well, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something, Mark. Here, Iran does these attacks on us. They set them up by this general. Okay, general's planning all these different things and putting it out there, and we just punched him in the nose big time.
Right.
And so, what do you think? Do you think Iran? What do you think Iran's going to do?
Well, they're going to try to end the rest of their nation, and it's all in Scripture. And
Okay, I'm not worried about that. I want to know what you think Iran's going to do. What do you think Iran's going to do in retaliation?
Well, if they're smart, they'll hold off. But evidently, if they strike at Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait, and our bases and all of our infantry, or any of our bases, Afghanistan, Iraq, and they start punching us, what do you think we're going to do?
I don't know if they're going to do that. I think they're going to get us. I think they're going to get us not on a hard target like that, but on something soft. But I don't know. It's up in the air. Who knows what they're going to do?
We got 7 to 13 nuclear subs. It's got cruise missiles up the yin yang. Our 7 fleets have crossed the America. We can hit, and our airborne air forces from all around. We'll take out Iran. If they punch us, we're going to eliminate them.
Yeah, I know. We're definitely a superpower. We can handle it, but hopefully we can handle it in a less, more damaging way. So we'll see what happens.
They blister out on us. We're going to blister back bad, and it'll be kind of like Saddam Hussein's Baghdad falling all within 24 hours.
Well, I'll tell you, Mark, there's a lot of people who think like you. The sledgehammer needs to come out, and we need to hit them hard, and so be it.
I do not want to hurt the civilians and all of them. They're just loving us. The 40 and 30 years younger in that nation, they want to be part of us.
Well, you see, you just took the words. You just took the words right out of my mouth, because you got to deal with a population. It's a few selected people that are controlling it and causing the problems. But look, I got other callers coming on, Mark. I got to take them, and I got Bill in here. So let me.
I got you. Everybody's fired up this morning.
That's right. I appreciate your call, man. Thanks.
No, we'll be back with you later.
All right. And welcome, Bill. Bill Whitmire, Republican chair of Milam County, just entered. Bill, how you doing this morning?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right.
Bill, I was telling everybody I was diligently doing show prep yesterday. I got tired, and I called it the night at about 9 o'clock. I wake up this morning, and I'm like, I see you had made a text to me, and I go, Rand, yeah. And then I'm starting to look at the news. I'm like, oh, man.
That kind of changes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like I got all this paper. I might as well just shred it up. So what's your take on it?
Well, I mean, I think we've talked about this before as far as, over there, you got to go big or go home. We've been needled forever, and we've responded with needles. And you know as well as I do that when you're dealing with those folks over there, those Muslims, especially the Shiites, if they hit you in the face, you give them a 10-pound sledgehammer. If they come with a sledgehammer, you pull a gun. They pull a gun, you pull a rocket launcher. They pull a rocket launcher, you drop a bomb. And that's how you deal with them, because otherwise they never go away. And one thing that people have lost track of here is there is no more Iraq and Iran. It's all Iran. I mean, it's all Shia controlled.
That's right. They're doing it all in Iraq. That's where they're doing all their hostilities.
That's right. When we took out Saddam Hussein, that was the last bit of Sunni control over that region.
But did you just hear what you just said? They do one thing, we do another. I got a little clip. I was thinking about this when I saw this. I want to play it when we come back, but we'll be back in a second. 866-89-LOGIC. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Betros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin.
Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Great song. Today is January 3rd, 2020. I got Bill Whitmire, Republican chair, with me. Susan Sturl, myself, Matt, your host. I've got Mark, a brother from another mother, on the line. I'm going to get you on the line, Mark, here, and I'm sure you and Bill are going to have a great chat. Mark, thanks for calling. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good morning to you, brother, man. Hey, I love that music. God bless Van Halen. God bless me. God bless Bill Whitmire. I love listening to Bill because he's been there. He knows what he's talking about. And I know that when I was there, you know, we could have killed Muqtada al-Sadr so many times, but the Bush administration, the Clintons, they said, no, we're nice people. We're going to let them do that thing. And that, man, Iran embedded themselves into Iraq even back then, and it hasn't been Iraq, like Bill just said. It's been Iran the whole time. And it is just so brilliant. Everybody needs to listen to Bill this morning because he's got the down and dirty on it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mark, here's what we need to do. Since I got you here and I got Bill here, you guys just need to talk. Go talk. Have a conversation.
The thing, Mark, I think most people don't realize is that religion over there trumps country. I don't mean to use the word Trump like that, but I mean it does. It's more powerful than any country. That region was not carved up based on ethnicities or anything. That region was cut up based on geographical regions, and those religions feed over those borders. And right now, Syria.
Yeah, thank God for the Brits doing that crap, right?
Yeah. And right now, Syria, Iraq, and Iran, it's all one Shia haven. I mean, and that's all it is.
It's great for business. It's great for the money industry, but it's bad for our people over there.
Yeah, and basically the Iranians and the Saudis are pretty close to the same basic religion, but they practice it two different ways, and so it's basically, while it's supposedly the same sect of Islam, it's actually two different between the Wahhabis in Saudi Arabia and the basic fundamentalist Shias in Iran. But it's just basically two countries, and we sit here and say, well, we went across the Iraqi border to kill an Iranian. No, they're all the same. You got to whack them all.
I got a question. I want to interject a question for both you guys. I'm talking with Bill here, and I'm in total agreement with him when if you're going to punch this guy in the nose, like taking out a leader, and you stop waiting for them to do something, that's the wrong tactic. So if we've done this, what's the next step? Because it seems to me that we did it, we took it out. Okay, there we go. I don't see any plans for anything else other than I hear chatter. If they do something else, we'll hit them even harder. So what's the procedure here?
Well, I'll tell you, we already know who the other key players are in the Iran structure, and it's just a matter of time before they get like a predator drone dropping a bomb on their ass, but their head. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. It's going to be interesting. Absolutely, it's going to be drawn out like it already has been for the last 20 years. But man, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, but I think if it's drawn out, you're going to have problems here in the States where you've got sleeper cells that pop up. And if a sleeper cell pops up, it's going to cause distress on the American people. So do we keep hammering heads now, fast, one after the other, and say, hey, you started it, we're going to finish it? Or are we sitting back waiting for something else to happen?
Keep the momentum going, man. You just said something very important there. You got to keep the momentum going. You don't do that little pause in between to let the guy catch their breath. We need to hit them on all the fronts and not just over there. We got those chuckleheads right in our own country. We got them in Africa, especially in Africa.
See, now I totally agree with that. If we're going to do it, we need to continue it nonstop, put the pressure on every aspect of warfare, psychological, financial, militarily, the whole works, all at one time, the same thing. We're done playing. But if he doesn't do that, we're going to have people getting hurt over here and abroad because we're delaying the tactic.
Yeah, to use the barroom analogy, we've danced with these fools for 35, 40 years. It's time to take them out back and just whack them. I mean, there's just no other way. Mark, you said it. You know, if anything happens in the next day or so, you know, you just drop. I mean, that presidential palace in Tehran looks great right now. You know, it'd be a shame for that to get messed up. But if that's what it takes, take them out. But nobody has even shown the gumption to do what Trump did. You know, the proportional response, you hit me in the nose with your fist, I'll hit you with my fist. No, Trump said, okay, you hit us in the nose with your fist. We're going to take a 10-pound sledge right upside your head. And that's what he did.
He tells them up front, you will have serious consequences. And by now, people should know when he says something, he means it. He's going to do it.
But they're used to the Obama and W. Bush and Clinton era where, you know, here's my red line. Oh, wait, you stepped over it. Let me put that red line over here now. Oh, stepped over that too.
And here's another red line. Here's another reason why that's happening is because they're paying to play. Okay, so you got the Bushes and the Clintons and everybody else is doing these things. They're saying, okay, we'll work out deals. We'll make out deals. Trump is like, I don't need to work out deals. I'm going to make my own freaking deal, and it's going to be for the benefit of this country. And you're not playing games. So,
H.W. Bush did not take Saddam Hussein out, and a lot of people said that was the wrong move. But that was the right move at the time because he held Sunni control over Iraq, and they held control over that entire region, and it kept it from spilling out. Once we took Saddam Hussein out and we didn't go farther, we didn't take control of that whole country as our own, that just opened the spill gates for everything that's going on right now. And unless you're willing to go in there and just whack everybody, you're going to play whack-a-mole, not with that padded handle, but with that 10-pound sledgehammer. Unless you're willing to go do that, you need to just get out of there. Just get everybody out and come home.
Go ahead, Mark.
Everybody needs to pay attention to Saudi Arabia also and how they're going to support us in this mission because they got the ports at the seaports, they've got the airstrip, they got the airspace, the logistical support, they got the fuel. They got all kinds of ways that they could support us in taking out their worst enemy.
So even though when people say, why are we dealing with the Saudis, it's because there's a lot of backdoor deals going on in the sense of support, logistics, and all that. It's vital that we have them
Absolutely.
as people we work
I
with
just wish
closely.
we would have supported the Kurds people more than we have in the past. But they're a key player in all this too.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hey, I got to go. I got an aircraft waiting, so I got to move around and draw fire. Bill, I love you, man.
Hey, be careful. Stay safe.
all right, Mark,
All right,
you take
lots
care,
of
buddy.
Love you too.
Do good stuff.
All right, man,
Susan.
take care. Be careful. All right, that was my brother from another mother, Mark Boyer. Stay safe. See you soon, I hope. Bill, good points all the way around. If we delay, how long is it?
I mean, this is a guy right now, Mark, talking about Mark, who's sitting right over there, probably in the middle of all this. You know, we don't know where he is to be exact, but there's a good chance he's probably sitting right in the middle of all this. He's involved in it still. You know, you and I have been out of it for a while. He's still involved in it on almost a daily basis in that kind of work and sees all that. But, you know, unless we have a president who's willing to go out there and take it to him, not proportionally, but out of proportion, and say, okay, we're going to hammer you. This isn't the same. This isn't your same old dad's U.S., granddad's U.S.
You know, I mentioned it before you got
It's
here.
a whole
Susan,
new aspect.
I was telling Susan that I'm a little concerned about this because we do something, they're going to strike back. Then we strike back, then they strike back. Then we strike back, they strike back. Can't do that because people here are going to get hurt. And we don't want that. We can eliminate that by doing a two-fisted punch.
Yeah.
I mean, the 1-2 knockout punch, if you do it now. But if you delay, if you do this strike, okay, sit back and wait, you're going to get people getting hurt.
Look, you attack our embassy and you damage our embassy, we're going to kill your people. We're going to kill your leaders. And guess what? In Muslim countries, they lead by force. They don't have a governmental infrastructure like a lot of other countries do. They lead by force. The people that are in charge over there, those are people that have power and have money already.
They're dictators.
Yeah, they're essentially they say they're elected, but those elections are pretty closely controlled to make sure they come out the way they are. You have a religious leader over there who, in the Ayatollah Khomeini right now, who rules by, basically by religious fiat. He just does what he wants to do, basically, and it's because they look to him. It's all the Shiites over there looking to this guy, whether they're in Iran, they're in Iraq, they're in Syria. Bashar al-Assad, we're still talking about him in Syria, but let's be honest. Without the Iranians, he doesn't have any power. And it's not the Iranian people, it's the Shias, because there are Sunnis, there are Christians. Hard to believe, but there are still Christians in Iran and Iraq and Syria. The Sunnis, they are the minority over there. The Shiites are the majority. That's what Saddam Hussein kept in control.
With America's
we
technology,
gotta hit them.
With America's technology, these guys, these leaders, they shouldn't just be looking behind their shoulders. They need to be looking up. The technology we got, pinpoint accuracy.
They're fighting with 1970s, 1980s military stuff that we gave them. We know how to defeat. It's not genius work.
That's right. So when we say, hey, you better do this, otherwise this will happen.
Yeah,
they need
do
to pay
it.
attention. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with your phone calls. 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media at Facebook at Logic Nation Radio and YouTube at youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio. See you on the other side.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in names and numbers.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council. To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hey y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And welcome, everybody, to Logic Nation. Today is January 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here. Susan Stroh with me. I got Bill Whitmire, Republican Chair of Milam County. And the wind is still blowing. The papers are still circulating. Super Ed has just flown into the studio. Ed, good morning. I almost forgot what you look like.
Yeah, good morning, Logic Nation. It's nice to be here. Do I get to talk?
Sure.
Excellent.
Well, let me check with the other people, not the owner. Go ahead, Ed.
Well, hey, yeah, I just wanted to come in. I had an appointment that's running a couple of minutes late, and wanted to remind folks out there we've got Logic Fest coming. It's the 24th, 25th, and 26th of January. We've added a couple of new things we're going to be doing, and I wanted to make sure people were aware of that. I've been out of town for about 11 days, but if you're not familiar with Logic Fest is an annual event we have where we bring in people from all over the great state of Texas. So far, we haven't gotten anybody out of state yet, but we get them from West Texas, South Texas, East Texas, North Texas, and then Central Texas, and we come together and basically we bash liberals. It's a lot of fun. And so that's the kind of thing you would love to do. If you want to talk about President Trump and the things you love about President Trump, if you want to talk about the things you despise about President Trump, and there are some things that I don't really care for about him, although I am a staunch supporter of him. I will tell you that. That's some of the things I don't like I can overlook. So anyway, we're going to get together. We're going to have a great time. The Fredericksburg Tea Party is going to join in with us, and they have a great organization there, so we're going to have a great time. So the 24th, that's Friday, our host and everybody else, Susan, everybody else involved are going to be down there Friday night. We're going to have dinner at one of the local restaurants. Going to have a great time there. Normally we have 30 people at the dinner on Friday night. Most people arrive a little bit later Friday. The next morning, you can get up, have a really a great breakfast. We're going to have bacon, eggs, I'm not sure, sausage, biscuits, a lot of different good food.
So Fredericksburg, you got to have sausage.
There you go. It's all free, and then you can listen to me do my show, Saturday morning show. You can listen to Con do his show. In the afternoon at about 3 o'clock, we're going to have a wine tasting from Safari Winery there in Fredericksburg. It's going to be complimentary. It'll be in the lobby of the Windcrest Inn and Suites. And also tastings of food that we've got a chef that's going to prepare. And so if you want to make reservations, then that night we're going to have our grand finale event where we're going to play a game. You're going to hear from our host and just have a good old time that night at another restaurant. Next morning we get up, have another fabulous breakfast. And if you want to, I'm going to be going to church. Sharon and I have a church that we go to. You go to another church if you want to. But you could go with us, and we've got a whole row of pews. And our church does pack, by the way.
I was just going to ask you, going to be carrying heat or what?
No, we have a security team, and certainly you can pack, and anybody else can pack. And it's a great church, and it's called Bridge Church. It used to be.
That's going to be the safest place in America.
I'm telling you, there's no telling how many people are packing. I'm not part of the security team, but I know they do pack. So anyway, that's going to be the 24th, 25th, and 26th of January. It's coming soon. Host Hotel, Windcrest Inn and Suites. Let me give you phone numbers. Folks, get your pen, write it down. If you're like my wife, put it in your cell phone to call. The number to call, 830. That's not the right number. 830-997-9811. 830-997-9811. We've already got about 20 reservations as of yesterday. I expect to have many, many more. We're going to get an email out to those that have attended in the past. And so we want to make sure you attend. If you've thought about attending in the past and just, circumstances happened in your life, you couldn't make it, this is going to be a great one to go. And who knows, we may be talking about war with Iran at that one. We just don't know what will be happening.
We've been at war with Iran. It's just been softball. Now it's hardball, using aluminum bats. Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. That's it.
All right. So, yeah, we're going to have a good time down there at Logic Fest. I look forward to seeing you, and maybe we'll talk gun talk as well. Maybe we'll go into the conference room there and make sure our weapons are unloaded. We can caress and touch each other's firearms.
Whoa. Yeah. Back off, big guy.
I used a specific term there, Bill.
Back off, big guy.
Firearms, okay? Firearms. Give us a call, everybody. 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442.
And I'm a big Fredericksburg fan. I love going out there. I mean, live music, great food. I mean, it's a great place to go, just to go.
You're such a fan, but you can't tell me the name of that knick-knack store in the middle of the street on the right.
I don't do knickknacks, man. I do wine, I do beer, I do food. I don't do knickknacks.
Dooley's is a 5 and dime. Yeah, I know Dooley's. I know Dooley's, but that's not what I'm talking about. There's another store that's got a lot of cool stuff in it. But, I guess I'm the only one who knows it. So we're going to take a break, everybody. And when we come back, we're going to continue on with world events, your phone calls, comments. We'll be talking about Logic Fest some more today. So if you don't remember, didn't get the number down, we'll be reiterating it. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue on. Scott Harrison.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family-owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas, and our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Art Coons, the owner of A&C Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to A&C Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. A&C Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin.
I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it, let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
And welcome back, everybody. January 2nd, 2020, Logic Nation. I'm sorry, January 3rd, 2020. And Matt, your host here. I've got Bill Whitmire, Republican Chair of Mountain County. Susan Sturrow with me. Super Ed Laughlin in the studio as well. Your phone calls when you call, 866-895-6442, 866-89-LOGIC. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media at Facebook at Logic Nation Radio, and YouTube at youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know I do my devotionals. I'm a little late. I want to get God in on this. So I do devotionals I do it every day, Monday through Friday in most cases. I've been doing it for many years to a long list of people, and I've been blessed to have the opportunity to do it here on the show. So if you don't like it, stick your fingers in your ear, lower the volume for about 60 seconds, and I'll be done. But it goes like this. Good morning. At one time or another, we all have crisis in our lives. Some may be experiencing one right now. But as Christians, we need to think backwards at moments like these and remember that in all past crises, is that how you say it? Crises? Crises, thank you. God has been there. We may not have noticed then, but if we reflect back, we can see the hand of God in it. There is purpose in everything as a faithful Christian. Is that purpose what we want? Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. But with our faith, we know it to be the will of God. And I get this from Psalms 94, verses 18 and 19, and also Isaiah 49:15. Psalms is, if I should say my foot has slipped, your loving kindness, O Lord, will hold me up. When my anxious thoughts multiply within me, your consolations delight my soul. And I say, God will never leave us or forget us. And this comes from Isaiah 49:15. Can a woman forget her nursing child and have no compassion on the son of her womb? Even these may forget, but I will never forget you. And I conclude by saying, God won't forget us. Let's not forget that. Have a blessed day. So we plant the seed. We let the good Lord do the watering. Don't cram it down anybody's throat. Let's see what comes of it. And you may take your fingers out of your ears, and you may raise up the volume, for we are done. Now, let me do the quotes. Everybody likes the quotes. You can tell me who the author of these quotes are. Give me a call at 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. I have, 2, 4, 6 quotes here. Number 1, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. 2, lose your dreams and you might lose your mind. 3, anarchy is the only slight glimmer of hope. 4, the elusive nature of love. It can be such a fleeting thing. You see it there and it's just fluttering and it's gone. 5, the past is a great place and I don't want to erase it or to regret it, but I don't want it to be its prisoner either. And finally, I never really studied business in school. I kind of wish I had, but how boring is that? So if you can give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, and tell me who the author is, I will give you something. We got 5 candy and more. We got a coffee cup, posters, pens, pillboxes, all sorts of stuff. Now, we've been talking bombs and death and all that kind of stuff. I've got a truly feel-good story. Y'all ready for this? This is a truly a feel-good story. Father beats alleged pedophile after catching him naked in children's bedroom. I love this story already. An alarming mugshot documents the extent he was nearly beaten to death by a father who allegedly caught him naked in his toddler's bedroom. The incident unfolded in Spotsylvania, Virginia on Sunday morning when the father, who went to check on the children around 6:30 a.m., encountered Mark Stanley, 60, naked from the waist down, standing over their children, ages 2 and 3. When the family member opened the children's bedroom door, he found the suspect, Mr. Stanley, in the room with the children nude from the waist down, reads the statement. When the family member questioned what he was doing in the room, Mr. Stanley pushed the family member out of the room, then locking the door. The family member forced entry into the room and began beating Mr. Stanley. Police found the father with a handgun when they arrived. The sheriff said the father was so upset, the police essentially had to rescue the suspect from further injury. Scott said the father had already obtained a weapon and that deputies had to save the suspect's life. Police say Stanley, who's from North Carolina, was in Virginia visiting family for the holidays. Stanley faces 2 charges of indecent liberties with a child and 1 count of domestic assault. The children were taken to the hospital. The father was not charged. Ladies and gentlemen, you should pray and thank God I wasn't in that room. I love a story like this.
No, that guy should pray and be thankful you weren't there.
Yeah, well, you get my point. The point is, pedophiles, you're in a bad place.
Even prisoners hate them.
I can't stand it. It makes my skin crawl. Anyway, that was a feel-good story for me. He got almost what he deserved. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue on the series.
All right, everybody in the car. Let's go.
What are we going to do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure, if you want.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
What about a bike ride? No, I want to fish.
Oh,
I've never been fishing.
Honey, we can do it all.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not.
Is it going to be long?
No, sweetie.
I bet it takes forever.
It's not that far.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already? No way. Come on.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood. A
public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council. No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, January 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here with Susan Sterl. I got Bill Whitmire, Republican Chair of Milam County, and also Super Ed Laughlin in the studio, getting texts, asking questions. And, you know, Bill, I wanted to talk about this, too, and I got beaten to the punch here. What are our Democratic nominees saying about this? What are basic politicians saying about this attack on this general from President Trump? And we want to talk, what about Sanders? You want to make a comment about Sanders, right?
Well, Sanders, Warren, and remarkably, I find this hard to believe that she's in tow with him, but AOC, she's not running for president, but she's always a mouthpiece. They all came out and said this was a non-proportional response. Duh. And they said that other regional powers in the area would take offense to this. Like who? and do we care? I mean, Turkey's not going to care.
Some would care. They obviously would care.
But and who's going to care? Bahrain, Qatar? No, because we and Kuwait, all three of those, we are the reason those two countries are still around. UAE, they're not going to care. They're the world. They're the Middle East Disneyland now. They don't have any oil. All they rely on is banking and tourism. People don't realize how big of a tourist place United Arab Emirates is. Saudi Arabia, they rely too much on us. The Israelis are cheering it on, They're all, super happy about it, I'm sure. Yeah. Syria, they've got their own things that we're about. Afghanistan, they already hate us. I mean, so who really in the region are we really worried about?
So they say all these things just to make themselves look prominent and important. Yeah. And they're not. They're
just because all they ever do is try to stir up more anti-Trump feelings. Whether you like the guy or not, you got to go big or go home. He chose to go big.
Omar says it's a distraction. He's doing it for a distraction. I'm like, give me a break. He could care less about this impeachment to one degree or another.
Omar, look, they ought to just change the name of Michigan and Minnesota to Little Muslim Land. Because that's essentially what those two states have become. And if you're from Minnesota or Michigan, you're losing control of your states, and that's what they're becoming. So,
and that's a strategy. I mean, look at that strategy. Look at the Muslim strategy. Get to one location, get enough people there, and you change the dynamics. It's the same thing with the southern border. Have no border wall. People come across. They get amnesty. They vote for the people who give them amnesty. There goes your demographics, right? You got a Democratic favoritism because you're giving them the ability to vote. That's why up in New York, when they're getting the green light law, they're getting driver's licenses so they can vote, and they're not even legal.
I mean, Bernie and Elizabeth Warren, they've lost their momentum. They are fading. If you think Bernie Sanders has a legitimate shot at being president, you need to check yourself into for some mental health because that guy has zero chance. All right, and Elizabeth Warren. The more people get to know her, the more people listen to her, the more they realize this chick is a whack job.
She's a whack job. Yeah, she can take all your money too.
That's why Buttigieg has been able to outraise. He's outraising them in money. He's out there, he's not going to make it either, but he's not going to make it either. In the end, if you're a Democrat right now, you might as well get on board with Joe Biden because that's going to be your nominee.
But he's not going to win either.
He's not going to win.
Is the Democratic Party going to want him to be there? They're going to want to get somebody else.
Who? He's the only guy with a legitimate chance because it's
you're better at this than me. How can somebody else get back into this race? When can Hillary come and when can Obama come in?
Hillary can't. Hillary's done. Hillary's done. She can come back in. She has money and she can come back in, but she's done. The Democrats, I mean, you keep bringing up Michelle Obama, and I'll tell you, that would be the best horse that they have.
That's it.
Because there's not another horse in that Democrat stable that's going to beat Trump. And if Trump keeps the gas on and keeps hammering Iran right now,
they don't want to lose, man.
They can't run on the economy. And right now they can't run on foreign policy because nobody in America cares what the president of Germany thinks about us. Are you keeping us safe? That's all anybody cares about. Are you keeping us safe?
You're keeping us safe.
Right now, you just killed one of the biggest terrorists in this world that people, and Democrats are like, this guy was an ally against ISIS. He wasn't an ally. The Iranians wanted ISIS out of there because they want to keep Bashar al-Assad there as president. We wanted Bashar al-Assad gone. We want both ISIS and Assad gone. He's not our friend.
Before the break comes up in about 30 seconds, none of the Democratic candidates are going to make it. I kept saying Hillary or Obama. I said Hillary because she'd be the next step. But like you said, she's probably out of it. So when do you think, if they pulled the Obama-Michelle card, when would it be? Because they're not going to
win. Today we're 1 month away from the Iowa caucuses. So she would have to have superdelegate votes, which she would get. I think she's probably got to make a decision in the next 2, maybe 3 months, but probably the next 2 months because in 2 months' time, a little over 2 months, you're in Super Tuesday, and she's got to be in it by
It's going
Super
to be interesting,
Tuesday.
man.
But she's got to get on the ballots there. She may not be able to get on the ballots. She can't get on the ballot in Texas now, and we're a Super Tuesday state. So a lot of the state, that's why Bloomberg finally jumped in when he did because he had to get on the ballot in Alabama. So
okay, that's why I was asking because this is trying times that we're in. The Democrats are saying this. So we're going to be back after the break with top of the hour break. Give us a call, 866-89-LOGIC.
Some knowledge belongs to us and us alone. The way our girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that we carry with us every day. Can we describe them when everything's right? Can we feel when something's wrong? Our bond with our sister girls gives life. But knowing your breasts can save it. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. That's knowyourgirls.org. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
All right, everybody in the car. Let's go.
What are we gonna do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure, if you want.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
What about a bike ride? No, I want to fish.
Okay.
I've never been fishing.
Honey, we can do it all.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not.
Is it gonna be long?
No, sweetie.
I bet it takes forever.
It's not that far.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already? No way. Come on.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your neighborhood. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, January 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here. I got Susan Sturrow with me and Bill Whitmire, Republican Chair of Milam County. If you haven't heard, we took out, how do you say his name, Bill?
Qasem Soleimani.
Soleimani, that's it. We took out Soleimani, a bad mutta.
He was the head of the Quds, which is basically the Iranian-sponsored, their military. It would be like if our Marine Corps was a terrorist organization. That's what the Quds are in Iran.
Great example.
Yeah.
Great example. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what's the end game of the United States? What's the end game? Let's talk about this, because there's two ways to do this, and we've been discussing this, and it makes total sense when you think about it. We can become isolationist and totally get out and stop from being the great Satan, or we stay where we're at and we knock heads and say, listen, enough of this. You keep messing with us. We're here. We want to make money. That's basically what the bottom line is. They want to make money. And when they want to make money, there's certain things that have to happen. And if you get in the way, we're going to knock heads. To be honest with you, that's how it is. It's all about money, man.
You just kill them. I mean, you cut the heads off the snake. You kill every leader over there. And like we've talked about just a little earlier, that those countries aren't based on the normal organizational theories that most countries are. Over there, it's all about religion. It's about your religious sects. Sects, S-E-C-T-S. I don't say that very clearly, so I wanted to spell it out. But that's what it's about over there. People have to get out of the mindset of there's actually countries over there. There is no Iran. There is no Iraq. There is no Syria. There is Shia-controlled Middle Eastern territories over there.
Bill, what do you think are some of the reasons why we negotiate with countries? One would be they've got something we want.
Yeah.
What would be other reasons? Just because we're compassionate, want to help?
Yeah.
Another one might be there's strategic locations that we could use for security.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So what other reasons would we have?
Well, it depends on we use the terms country. We think about the United States. We think about France. We think about England, countries that have well-defined cultures and have been around for a long time. Although even the U.S., we're still learning our culture in the U.S.
The melting pot, sure.
The Middle East is comprised of countries that have really only been around since the end of World War II.
We're talking the Middle East. We're not talking
We're
Europe.
talking Iraq. We're talking Iran. We're talking Saudi Arabia, Israel. These countries, and except for Israel, where it's primarily Jewish people and it's a Jewish state, the rest of these countries were made based on geographic identities, not demographic, not religious identities.
And if you look at the map, you can see kind of what they did.
And it's a lot of straight lines. And you look at France, look at England. Well, England's not good because it's an island. But look at France, look at Germany. Those countries are defined based on, I mean, their borders are very rounded, zigzag. They're based on demographics. They're based on rivers. They're based on that. You look at the Middle East, and a lot of their borders are straight lines because they were based on geographic regions. And so when we say, well, we're gonna have talks with Iraq and not include Iran, well, guess what? Those two countries are Shia majorities and they're Shia controlled, and they all work together. So you can't go into it like that. And we've said a couple times, you either go home or you go big, meaning you get out of there or you make your presence known. And to make your presence known, you got to kill those leaders And then Susan brought up
One
a
of the-
really good point.
Yeah, I
though.
mean, one of the things that I had asked Bill off air was, well, what can Iran do to Israel? Do they have nuclear power right now? What is their, what can they actually do to us from where they are? Or, Israel, because Israel is, hopefully, in general, us, we're defending them. So,
yeah, most civilian intelligence things like Jane's and Jane's Defense and stuff like that say that currently Iran does not have an active nuclear threat capability, but they're developing it.
Right.
So
if we get out of there.
And for these people that say we had to keep that agreement in there so that they wouldn't develop it, folks, they were developing it anyway. They were flaunting everything that Obama and Kerry put in place. They were going against it. They were launching weapons. They had no intention. All that was the same thing Clinton did in North Korea when he said we have a treaty and we're never going to have nuclear weapons in North Korea. They have them, and that's what was going to happen in Iran.
So my point is you walk away from them because you've got an evil pot there. That's an evil pot, and you walk away from there and you just let them do whatever they want. They're going to become a superpower. Evil superpower. It'll be a Hitler. You'll have
nuclear power,
a World War III anyway.
Yeah, nuclear power.
So you either walk away and you let them become a superpower, in one way or another, or you cut the head off every snake there, and that's the only. You have to fight evil all the time. You can't walk away and let evil grow, and then 20 years down the road. Then you're really, have a huge problem.
Yeah. I've got Judge Isaacs on the phone here. Let's get him on the line, see what he's got to say about it. Judge, appreciate you listening. Thanks for calling. How's it going today?
Hey, guys, and enjoyed your conversation. The redneck way of fixing all this is turn it all into glass. And that's not practical, but, that's the redneck way. We just, nuke them all, and we get all the snakes at one time.
If you can nuke the governmental entities, that'd be different.
And make it an art gallery afterwards. I mean, then you could go.
We got to remember though, there's so many people out there who are opposed to the same regime that we are. So I mean, there's a lot of people out there who are thankful that we took out this guy. So I want to keep that in check. We all know we're talking about the governments, but I don't want to glaze over, no pun intended, the people who are in favor of it. But go ahead, Judge.
Right. Defending freedom never stops. We don't get to break. We don't get to take a breath. We don't get to
exactly
defending freedom. We never stop. It never stops. Every time we cut off the head one, there's two more in its place, and we have to fight that. We have to fight our own people for being complacent. Complacency will kill us, and it's constantly a battle. You had a caller on. I got one comment on the caller on earlier. He said, people get out on PR bond, and next time they don't get out on no PR bond on Judge Isaacs.
You running for office, Judge?
No, I'm not. But I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't let them. I will do a PR bond under certain, trying to be kind situation, or in a situation where they got 3 felonies and 1 misdemeanor or 1 Class C misdemeanor, I'll PR bond a misdemeanor, and because they ain't getting out on the felonies anyway. But no, it ain't. No.
Hey, Judge.
Let me tell you this. Another thing is, who's across that glass from me when I step in that room is no different than when I used to referee basketball and there were kids out there I know. When I step in that glass, I don't know you. Because when I refereed basketball, I didn't know them because it changed the way I did it. When I step in that glass, I don't know you. I may get on you harder than I would somebody else because I expect them.
All right, Judge, we're up on a break here. It's good. Thanks for calling in, and feel free to call back if you want.
You guys keep doing what you're doing.
All right, thank you, sir. We're going to take a 2 or 3 minute break. When we come back, we'll get your phone calls. 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. See you on the other side. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Petros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin. Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in names and numbers.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, January 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here. I got Bill Whitmire, Republican Chair of Milam County, Susan Sturrow with me. I'm going to read the quotes again. Didn't get a winner yet. Let me read the quotes. If you can get the author of these quotes, give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, and you're going to win something. Here they are. I got to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Lose your dreams and you might lose your mind. Anarchy is the only slight glimmer of hope. The elusive nature of love. It can be such a fleeting thing. You see it there and it's just fluttering and it's gone. The past is a great place and I don't want to erase it or regret it, but I don't want to be its prisoner either. And finally, I never really studied business in school. I kind of wish I had, but how boring is that? So there you go. If you can tell me the author of those quotes, give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, and you win. Bill, we were talking about something before the break.
Actually, hey, I just want to say, this is the first non-fictional quoter that I've gotten that you've done.
So you figured it out without...
I've gotten all the fiction ones you've done before, and it's a hint. It's a real person, but this is the first real person that you've given a quote for that I've been like,
Did you get any satisfaction?
I had to go back and look. I did. I had to go back and look and make sure. I'm like, I think I know who this is. I'm like, yeah. So.
That's good. I'm glad. Give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC.
I think the biggest thing, somebody said it earlier, was, it reminds me. I actually wrote a blog on this. I have a blog called Horse Sense. You can look it up. It's somewhere out there in the interwebs. But the first one I wrote was how to kill a snake, and it's something my grandpa used to tell me was, you don't form a committee on how to kill a snake. You just go out there and kill it. And for far too long, dealing with terrorism, we formed committee over committee over committee on how to do this. And for the first time in a long time, President Trump did something that hadn't been done in a long time. He just went and killed a snake. He didn't form a committee. We didn't have a subcommittee on whether this guy was worth killing. He didn't go ask a task force. He just went and hammered him.
Because he said this before, and if you read his books, you know who he is, and that's basically saying, why would I give signals as to what I'm going to do to give you time? Why would I say like Obama?
That's what I mean. We've spent a lifetime forming committees on how to kill a snake and not just going and killing the snake. And that's what it's going to take. If you want to beat these guys, and let's be honest, these leaders are terrorists. They sponsor terrorists, thus that makes them terrorists. Khomeini, Ayatollah Khomeini, he's a terrorist. President of Iran, he's a terrorist. The president of Iraq, he's a terrorist. These guys sponsor this crap. They are terrorists. You go kill them.
This isn't just rhetoric. This is legitimate.
This is legitimate. This guy that the president killed, okay, he didn't knock down the Twin Towers, but I would be willing to bet you he knew it was going to happen. But he's been responsible for American and non-Arab deaths in Gaza, in Israel, in Lebanon, in Syria, in countries outside of the Middle East, not to mention what he's done in his own country. This guy is a bad guy on level with Osama bin Laden and with Baghdadi. He is on par with these guys, and he's a terrible guy. And if you want to, we talk about Arabs all the time and Muslim names and Arab names. Let's put him on par with some people maybe you know. He's on par with a Goebbels. He's on par with a Himmler. He's on par with a Hitler. He's on par with those guys, and we wouldn't think twice about killing those guys if they're around. And that's what Trump did last night.
They categorized Trump like that. Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, but I mean, these guys truly. This guy's a guy that went and he's killed not hundreds, but thousands of people have died because of his orders. And what's worse is he is state-sponsored. I think you might have said it off the air. No, I think you said it on the air. Osama bin Laden and Baghdadi weren't sponsored by any governments. Soleimani was sponsored by the Iranian government and was protected by the Iranian government. And in terms that we would understand, that the Quds Force is like I said earlier, it's equivalent in size and scope as our Marine Corps, except without the air power that our Marine Corps has. But their sole goal is international and Middle Eastern terrorism, to kill non-Shiite people. And his place in that government was the same as our commandant of the Marine Corps. That's where this guy was, and for the whole purpose of killing non-Shia Muslims, people that don't agree with the Ayatollah Khomeini. That was his whole. So this guy, while we're saying, he was a government official, he was a bad guy. I mean, this is a guy that unless you know a lot about the Middle East, you had no idea who this guy was. But he was a bad dude. He deserved to be. He's been at it for 20 plus years.
Fingerprints all over the place.
Yeah.
Now, look, I want to put a little spin on this because if you were to take the Democratic Party and put them in a closet and ask them privately with nobody hearing and they couldn't be on the record, they would say Trump probably did the right thing.
Oh, 2/3 of them easily, yeah.
But they're not going to admit that. They'll say he's a bad guy, but Trump shouldn't have done it. Which brings me to this, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with this term or not. You might be. The Hegelian dialectic. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not super familiar. I've heard of it, but
Hegel, the Hegelian dialectic, in simple terms, is problem, reaction, solution. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this has a lot to do with the media and people opposing who we have in office right now. And what it is basically, it's a thesis giving rise to its reaction, and then for every thesis, For every point of view, there's an opposite point of view, an antithesis, which contradicts and negates the thesis. And the tension between the two being resolved by means of synthesis. So what you have is you got one point of view, a counterpoint of view, and you come up with a conclusion. And what it's coming to here is this. If the people who want to get something accomplished know what their agenda is, what they want accomplished, and they know if they cause a certain problem, the people are going to react a certain way and want the leading body, the government, to do something about it. And the government's going to say, yeah, I got the plan already. I caused the problem because I knew what you were going to do, and I got the solution already. And I want you to think about that when it comes to the media. The media keeps pushing this crap out there. There's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem. And the people start getting into a frenzy. And they go, help us, help us, help us. And they go, okay. Here's what we can do to fix the problem. And we fall into the trap and go into what they want us to do. And I'll get on this a little bit more.
Yeah, it's fear-based.
Well, it's a first word. It's a first world mentality.
Right.
You know, is what it is. We have so many conveniences. We have so many things in this world. We have the time to sit and think about stuff like that. If you don't have the time to sit and think about stuff like that, you just take action.
I know, but I want to read something here. It's about half a page long. It'll give an example of what I'm talking about, and it comes to about the news. And I want people to hear this. So when you start hearing panic about economies and wars and this and that, it's because go back to who do these people not like and what do they want, because it's counter what they want.
What are their motives? You always have to look at what are your motives.
What's the modus operandi? Let me get Con on the line, see what he's got to say. Con, it's always a pleasure to have you on the air. What's on your mind, buddy?
Well, I'm just wanting to make a comparison between what Jack Taylor did in White Settlement, Texas. He prevented the death of how many people in that church? We don't know. But how does that differ from us taking out Somali, whatever his name is, who had killed many, many people and was going to kill many, many more? What's the difference? Jack Taylor did what needed to be done, and Donald Trump did what needed to be done. That's how you prevent the death of many, many people. So, what's the difference?
Well, Con, you bring up a good point that leads right into what I just said about problem, reaction, solution. Do you notice the media is not talking about it much? They talked about it a little bit, but because it wasn't a black rifle, an AR-15, and it didn't cause mass casualties, and because the good people had guns to defend themselves, they're not promoting it as a major problem, and they're only, if they do promote it, saying, well, people shouldn't have had the guns in the church in the first place. Have you heard that?
Well, if you can take out one man and prevent the death of many people, why not? You have to do what needs to be done at the time, and that's what Donald Trump did. Now, the Democrats are all criticizing him because he didn't go before Congress. Had he gone before Congress, how many of those good Congress people would have been over there alerting Somalis that
yeah, exactly.
Donald Trump's coming?
Exactly. That's what I was just mentioning before. Yeah.
You can't go take out the bad guy when you've got half the people in the U.S. Congress wanting to warn him that we're coming. So anyway, that's all I got to say this morning.
Well, good points, Con. I appreciate the call. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue on your phone call. See you on the other side.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
One in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm gonna take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Some knowledge belongs to us and us alone. The way our girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that we carry with us every day. Can we describe them when everything's right? Can we feel when something's wrong? Our bond with our sister girls gives life. But knowing your breasts can save it. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. That's knowyourgirls.org. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And, with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, January 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here. We're talking all sorts of good stuff. World events, thought processes, the whole works. I got Susan Sturl with me. Bill Whitmire, Republican Chair of Milam County. Had some good calls coming in. I want your call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media at Facebook at Logic Nation Radio, and YouTube at youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio. Hey, listen, you need to figure out these quotes here. These are... it's very satisfying to know the author of these quotes. And it is. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Lose your dreams and you might lose your mind. Anarchy is the only slight glimmer of hope. And one more. The elusive nature of love. It can be such a fleeting thing. You see it there and it's just fluttering and it's gone. Okay?
It is satisfying And sometimes you can't get it.
That's right. You just can't.
You just can't get it.
Can't get it. Can't get that. Okay. 866-89-LOGIC. Now, look, I was talking last break about problem, reaction, solution. I want to go over this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so important. If you can get this in your brain and use it, when I'm teaching my license to carry class, I ask everybody, hey, who does pot? Anybody do pot? Susan, you do pot, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Every day, right?
Pot.
Yeah.
Do you do pot?
No.
I do pot every day.
Yes.
I do pot every day. Okay, and if you don't do pot,
it's
you're
not
crazy.
the hemp stuff that we're talking about.
That's
by the
perception of threat.
Right.
Okay. If you look at the indicators in life, you can get a perception of threat. So what I tell my students, I show a gauge that looks like a gasoline gauge, and it shows force, reasonable, necessary force, and deadly force. And burn that into your eyeballs, because when you look at a situation based on its perception of threat, you'll know where to come in on the threat level.
Well,
okay?
one of the things I saw with the photographs of that church on Sunday was that everybody's sitting there and they have no clue about what's going on around them. They're just sitting there like lumps,
screaming their heads off.
Well, they were taking communion. So they were supposed to, you're supposed to
be
really
praying,
be
yeah.
in prayer.
Okay, but my point is this. Problem, reaction, solution. If you can get this into your brain, like I tell people to get the pot in their brain and the levels of force, if you can get this in your brain, you'll look at things a lot different. Let's go over this. It's about a page long. Won't take that long, and get it done in this break, okay? This segment. Understanding the Hegelian dialectic. Hegel is he wrote about the thesis and stuff, okay? Now, don't ask me about the history, because I scanned through it. I know what it means, and I come up with this part of it, the translation, which is problem, reaction, solution. To better understand the New World Order strategy behind the crisis we experience, okay, you can look at it and say there's people behind the curtain who are pulling the strings why things happen the way they do, okay? Well, let's try and figure out why things happen the way they do. And that's problem, reaction, solution, or the Hegelian dialectic from the German philosopher George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. Its thesis given rise to a reaction, antithesis, which contradicts or negates the thesis, and then the tension between the two being resolved by means of a synthesis, which means problem, reaction, solution. So here we go. I'll give you an example. First, a problem is created and designed to elicit a certain reaction out of the public. Then the people demand something to be done about the problem and willingly accept the pre-planned solution. A solution that always involves action or legislation that never would have passed under normal circumstances. It works like this. The manipulating body covertly creates a problem and then directs the media to incessantly focus on it without recourse. The problem could be anything: a war, a financial collapse, a rash of a child, abductions, a terrorist attack. The power of the media can create the false perception that a big problem exists, even if it doesn't. Once you have created this problem, you make sure that the individual, a group, or an aspect of society is blamed. Then this rallies the population behind the desperate lunge for a solution to the problem. Something must be done, they cry in unison. The people that created the problem in the first place then come back in and offer the solution that the people demand. Remember, the people screaming for a solution do not know that the problem was artificially created in the first place. The solution to the problem is always a further curtailment of freedom and an advancement of one or more aspects of an agenda, whether that is geopolitical expansion, new laws, or the implementation of new societal worldviews. So when you hear that, ladies and gentlemen, and you hear the scary story of the black gun, the AR-15, look, there's three types of people. There's people who genuinely are just scared to death of a firearm. That's a small percentage. Then you got people who are being pushed to believe that it's a bad thing. And then you've got people who know it's not bad, but they manipulate the other people because they know if they can sway them in a direction, they can get their agenda across, and that's gun bans, okay? You can use that for any scenario you want. So what I'm asking you to do, I'm asking you to understand problem, reaction, solution. Understand that if it smells funny, it probably is. Look at it. What's the problem? Who's saying the problem? There is a problem. Who's pushing the problem? Why are they pushing it so hard and in so much unison? There might be an objective there. There might be an agenda. So look at everything you look at. Problem, reaction, solution. Who's causing the problem? Who's promoting the problem? And who's saying they got the answer? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue on. See you on the other side.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family-owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE-certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas. And our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Arch Coons, the owner of A&C Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to A&C Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. A&C Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin. I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it. Let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Hey, that's a good song, isn't it?
It is. No. It is. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Not Martin Winkdale. Just wink.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Logic Nation.
Young days.
January 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here. I got Bill Whitmire, Republican Chair of Milam County. Susan Sturrow with me, pusher of paint, poet of photography, rocket of rock and roll. I was talking about the Hegelian dialectic.
I just like watching you pronounce that.
Yeah, I know. My tongue hurts when I say it. But I wanted to finish up on this. I wanted to give it a couple examples. It's basically false flags, everybody. If you're familiar with a false flag, you've heard that term quite a bit, right? Hitler's Nazi Reich Marshal and Luftwaffe chief Hermann Göring is quoted as saying, "Naturally, the common people don't want war. But after all, it is the leaders of the country who determine the policy, and it is always a simpler matter to drag the people along, whether it is a democracy or a fascist dictatorship or a parliament or a communist dictatorship. Voice or no voice, the people can always be brought to the bidding of the leaders. That is easy. All you have to do is tell them they are being attacked and denounce the pacifist or lack the patriotism and exposing the country to the danger. It works the same way in any country. You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? You were bringing up the Nazis about that, what I was just discussing. You were mentioning that before. Here's another one. Adolf Hitler burned his own Reichstag building in 1933 to blame it on his political enemies. He would later declare that the terrorism is the best political weapon, for nothing drives people harder than the fear of a sudden death.
Fear.
It's fear. So,
well, just remember, perception is reality. I tell politicians that all the time, and they're like, "That's not right," but it doesn't matter. Perception is for a lot of people, and I wrote this down, and I tell these guys this: there's 20% of the people are for something, 20% are against it, and it doesn't matter what it is. The other 60%, oftentimes, are in the air, and for a lot of those people, most of those people, the perception is the reality.
You just said a mouthful. Perception. You know how I'm always talking conspiracies? Yeah. It's the perception. There's a perception of conspiracy out there, and people think a certain way. So I look at it like, what's causing it? Where's it coming from? Who's pushing it? Why are they doing it? What's the agenda? So it's a conspiracy within a conspiracy. The conspiracy is, oh my gosh, this happened. But the real conspiracy is who's pushing that picture of what happened and for what's the reason. And when you get back to that, you realize, and it's always about the money, man. It always goes back to money or just political power.
Well, several weeks ago, you brought up, before I got here, and you brought up various different conspiracy theories that are popular in American society, and one of them, which you ended up talking about, was the Kennedy assassination. I don't want to get stuck in that swamp again, but one of the things that we lose fact of, and I was just talking to Susan about this off the air, I keep this notebook, and if you see the video or the live stream, you can see me writing in it from time to time. And one of the things that I wrote in it when I started this volume, I've got about 6 or 7 of them at home, but this volume, at the time, we were talking about Kennedy, and I don't remember where I was or who I was talking about. But people fail to realize, they don't even know that before Kennedy was assassinated, a few months before, he had signed presidential orders to leave Vietnam, to bring our troops home from Vietnam.
Oh, military-industrial complex isn't like that.
That's right. And so when people say, the government or the military couldn't have had any part to play in Kennedy's assassination, that is the honest perception of most people. But it sure could have. I'm not going to be a conspiracy theorist and say it did, but it sure could have. But so could have the mafia, which one of the callers called in and said, hey, the mob, there were people that had to play with that. And they're right. There was that too. So all this stuff, the only thing you can do to defeat that is educate yourself, is to actually go and educate yourself. And too many people, they'll open that email. They'll look at that thing on Facebook that says this. I don't know how many times I've seen this thing that says, everybody, once you get elected to Congress one time, you get a lifelong pension. No, you don't. You don't. And then the president doesn't make the same amount of money after he's out of office that he made when he was in office. But we see these things and, it's got to be the truth. It's on Facebook. It's Facebook official.
Yeah, right.
Or I got it in an email from Uncle Jack. Well, you know what? Uncle Jack could be a chucklehead too, So
now look, I do something in my class all the time. I say, look, do you want me to tell you the thousands and thousands and thousands of places you can't go with a firearm, or you can go with a firearm, or do you want to know the 12 places you can't, or the conditions? And they say, oh, of course I want the 12. It's the same thing here, what you just said. If you can learn problem, reaction, solution, you can educate yourself. You can say to yourself, I just been presented a story. Okay, problem, reaction, solution. What's the problem? Who's creating or who's talking about the problem? Who's pushing the problem? And what's their agenda? And so study that and see if it has any validity to it.
Who does it benefit?
Who does it benefit? There you go. It's a simple procedure. You don't have to know much, but if you got the basic formula, the formula is problem, reaction, solution. What's the problem? Who's pushing it? What do they want? You kind of can figure it out. We're going to take a break, see you on the other side.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here. Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Adopt U.S. Kids presents When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, January 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here. Give us a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. And that'll give me great satisfaction if you do that. And I've got Bill Whitmire with me. I've got Susan Sturl. And we're talking all sorts of good things here. Oh, we also don't have a winner of the quotes yet, but time's on my side with that one. I'll just wait here and wait to see who gives me a call. And if you can tell me who the author of those quotes are, we will get you a nice little prize. I don't care if it's Mark, Bob, Angie, or whoever, but just give me a call. Wild horses couldn't drive me away from staying at the phone here. And if you know who the author of those quotes are, give me a call, 866-89-LOGIC, and we'll see what you got to say. You just figuring that one out, Bill?
I was reading this while you were talking, and I heard wild horses. I'm like, oh.
Okay. Bill, you were bringing up McCabe. Let's talk about McCabe.
Andrew McCabe, former deputy chief of the FBI underneath James Comey, and then like later on after Comey was removed, he was the acting director, and, he was in charge of the investigation to find out who leaked investigation information to the Wall Street Journal and all this, into the Hillary Clinton investigation, later on into what was the Russian investigation and all this. And the IG's report came out, Inspector General's report came out, I guess about a week ago. It's been inside government offices, and it was leaked out. Ironically, it was leaked also out just last night. And who was the leaker?
Gee, I give up. Who?
Andrew McCabe. It specifically said, the AG's report specifically said that he was under oath when he lied to the FBI agents. The Inspector General said in a lengthy report that could prove devastating to McCabe's credibility. How could it? It is devastating to his credibility everything that he testified to during the Mueller investigation that was basically anti-Trump. This guy has been an anti-Trump guy from the get-go, since before the election, and was one of the primary drivers in the FBI investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails that basically exonerated her.
Look, half the guys who are doing this investigation against Trump are attorneys. How can an attorney take information that's bogus and false or leaked or lied or untrue and continue on with the case? How do they do that? Ed, where are you?
You just read a pretty lengthy article about that process there. It's to create that false narrative, create that perception.
I know, but the perception, the gig is up. So when it's up and you know what the deal is, you would think it would collapse like a house of cards, and they say, okay, we're going to have to just eliminate this.
Well, fortunately, this is out now. Unfortunately, it comes out the same night that there's a pretty heavy-handed sledgehammer attack against Iran. And so it's going to get masked for a little while. But the scary thing, if you're the Democrats now, is that he could be subpoenaed during an impeachment trial. And something else I found out this weekend in talking to a congressman was that Mitch McConnell doesn't have to wait for those articles of impeachment to actually come to the Senate.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he can actually call that. He could actually
start calling witnesses,
because those articles are public knowledge now. Even though the actual official signed documents wouldn't be in the Senate, those articles of impeachment are public record now. They've been voted on, so they're official. So if he wanted to, he could go ahead and pick them up and take them and say, okay, let's go with it. But I think he's being smart about it, and he's going based on the Clinton era, the 1998 rules of impeachment. He's going to receive
them. Which the Democrats don't like.
And the longer he lets them sit there, the less momentum there is to bring them forward.
That's right.
And the more backlash there's going to be on the Democrats, and especially now. And I'm not certain. You think about this. This was 2 weeks ago that this vote was taken. And they're saying in this article here that IG's report's been floating around government now for about 2 weeks. I'm not certain that Pelosi and them didn't have a copy of this either, because a lot of their cases built on things that McCabe's investigations reported. So, and I'm brainstorming as I'm talking on the air. I don't like to do that, but it's coming back to mind.
Yeah, but I can see what you're doing. The data points are coming.
Those different things are coalescing into one movement. And what if McConnell knows this and he's sitting there letting it just stew and letting it go away? Because if the Democrats have to take this back and they have to eat that crow and swallow this, I mean, it's like you said a minute ago, everything is coming together to just squash anything the Democrats are going to try in November. This could all backlash on the Democrats in November. They could lose the House. Forget the Senate, but they could lose the House.
I really, no matter what they pull, I still don't think they can win no matter what. So I'm just an average Joe thinking this. These top wizards in the Democratic Party are thinking, we can't win. What's their thought process? Are they shooting their wad?
They're listening to their hardcore base, and they're not looking at what the middle ground independent voters are going to do, and that's going to come back to bite them. It bit them 3 years ago. It's going to bite them again.
All right, everybody, top of the hour break. When we come back, if we hold on to this phone call, we'll have it. If not, we'll see you on the other side.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have any body to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
want to know the feeling of liberation and release. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes in, they come to build a wall between us. No,
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here, January 3rd, 2020. 2 hours down, 1 to go. A lot going on. Drone attack against the general in Iraq, right outside the airport there. Say his name again, Bill. I'll tongue-tie it.
Qasem Soleimani.
Soleimani. There you go. Took out a bad one. And I think we need to continue hitting it hard, like we're all concurring here. The sledgehammer needs to be raised again. And do not stop. Do it all or don't do anything. But anyway, I got Terry on the line. This is a free-for-all phone call because I have no idea what the topic is. So, Terry, I'm going to get you on the line here, see what you got to say. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for calling. What's on your mind?
How y'all doing today?
Doing pretty good. What's going on with you?
Well, if I was any better, I would be me.
Okay.
Okay. The only thing I was listening to this conversation, which actually I'm very grateful for your commentary and everything else like that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I just want to throw my 2 cents in on something that I'm a 50-year-old man, been around, everything else like that. But I want to tell you this, and this is important to understand. The reason they're taking the history out of classes, religion, and everything else is because the people are doing the Congress, the Senate, let's just say just overboard, all of them. When there's a problem or a crisis that doesn't fit their agenda, they do 3 things. You said 3 things earlier. I appreciate it. But these 3 things are important because my 4-year-old grandson does it all the time. They acknowledge, bridge, and redirect, period. So that's what the media does. That's what our political people are doing, even at this point. They acknowledge the problem. They bridge it by agreeing there's a problem, and they redirect by going somewhere else with hypothetical or, whatever fits their suit.
Yeah, but Terry, do you know when you say they redirect, guess where they're redirecting? They're redirecting to their solution.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Now, if you go back to the core of everything, and we got a problem with millennials and all this other kind of stuff, it's because education is not being taught like when we were growing up. We learned hardcore facts about
That's right.
our democracy and everything else. They've taken all that away legislatively to prevent a certain generation to be able to carry forward and continue the American dream that we know.
Well, let's expand upon what you just said there, Terry. They're dumbing down the populace because if you got a dumb and occupied populace, they won't know or won't see or won't care what they're doing.
Well, I would have to include also that they're adding that the last 20 years they have taught these kids that capitalism is evil and that capitalism is evil. And even the president went around for years and years, Obama, and all over the world, capitalism, oh, we're evil, we're evil, we're evil. And that's what they've grown up knowing, that capitalism is evil. That's what they've been taught.
Yes, and the reason why all of this is, if you go back through generations and look, is because of control. They want total control. They want mindset people. They want the middle class out. All they need is peasants and rulers.
That's right,
now,
upper and lower classes.
If you listen real closely, I mean real close, if you listen to what they're trying to do and pay attention, is they're trying to take that bridge away at this point, so you have no say in anything. That's why our Second Amendment is under fire. That's why our First Amendment is under fire. Our Constitution itself and a whole is under fire. And
hey Terry, have you seen the movie? Have you seen the movie Hunger Games?
No, I have not.
It's kind of the same concept. I mean, you rebel against the people in charge, and they squash you, and then it makes it from the people who are the elites into the peasants, like in the movie, and you serve to the satisfaction of the leaders, and the peasants are forfeited in sacrifices for their pleasure. I mean, that's what it is in a dramatic sense, but they do it in a manner where the same results happen, only you don't really know it.
Right. No, totally understand that. If I could just add this, I know I'm taking up a lot of your time. If I could just add this, and I just want to, now I'm acknowledging bridging and redirecting. If we could get to a point that we re-educate our children, and I'm talking about everything from history to civics, everything. If we could get back to that point, put God back in the school, and do our Pledge of Allegiance, and show them the evilness of communism and stuff like that, show the tragedies, because they're not allowed to teach that no more. Show the tragedies of humanity that is so gross, it's not even unreal.
Terry, we've had. I think we are at the breaking point, and I'm not kidding when I say this. I think we're literally at the breaking point. We still can pull it back if we all did it right now, what you just said. The problem is we've got a generation after generation after generation, and the third generation are the ones who are supposed to be teaching it and putting back into the concept you just said. Well, they're diluted to begin with as well. I'm 56 years old. Bill's in the 50s. I think you just said 50s, right? I think we're at
I'm in my 50s, yeah.
I think we're at that age borderline, maybe 45 or something, the borderline of where it was normality. And younger than that is where all the dilution has come into. So we've got these younger generations coming into positions of power. They are fixed and set in these new ways. I think we've lost it. I mean, I'm not going to give up hope, but we got to do it
right,
now.
No, I got you. Yes, sir. No, I got you, because I'll tell you this, brother, and you said a mouthful. It starts at home.
That's right.
I can't depend. I've got children right now that realize what's going on, and they're concerned, and they're in their 20s, okay? They're not going with the flow, and the reason is because I live, and my wife, we live by example. We teach them the right way to go. It starts at home. They get so mad. And I don't think you think it's funny, but it is to me. They go to school, and they feel history because they'll argue with them and say, no, this is what it is. Because it's being taught out of textbooks that's totally out of context from college professors, liberal professors and stuff. And they'll go up there and show them proof, and they'll still fail them.
Yeah, people like you, me, Bill, Susan, and many others like us, we're becoming the freaks now because we're at that point in time where there's too many younger ones who've been diluted and polluted that we're looking like the freaks who don't know what we're talking about. That's why I'm saying we all got to come together at the same time, say, no, I don't accept this. No, I don't accept that. No, be respectful, be courteous, do all this kind of stuff. Your family units have been broken down, taken apart. You got drugs, you got drug epidemics, you got mental issue epidemics. You've got the media pushing weird agendas, all these things being polluted in the brains of our young and not so young. It's a very large task to handle. But Terry, fantastic call. Thanks for your comments. We're going to take a break. See you on the other side.
Peace be with you in Christ.
Amen. Same to you. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Betros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin.
Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in names and numbers.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
And welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. January 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host here. I got Bill Whitmire, Republican Chair of Milam County. Susan Sturrow with me as well. Super Ed flying in and out every now and then. I got a caller on the line. I got Raymond. Raymond, stand by for a second. If you want to be on the show, give us a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. Don't forget, it's free for all Friday. LogicNation.us is the website. Stream us live there. Social media is at Facebook at Logic Nation Radio and YouTube at youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio. So let me get Raymond on the line here. I'd like to hear what he's got to say. Raymond, stand by while I set you up, get you on the board here, and it's always a pleasure to hear what you got to say. Raymond, what's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Good morning. Good morning to you, Mr. Bill Whitmire. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
I was just going to ask you a simple question since it's open lines Friday. If you can tell me who's buried in Grant's tomb, that just means that your IQ's over 22.
He's buried in Grant's tomb, Bill.
Ulysses S. Grant.
Yes, sir.
There you
That
go.
means you're a genius. Well, listen, all jokes aside, I was just going to say that,
I got to be honest with you. When you asked that question, I looked at Matt like, is
he
trick
kidding
to
me?
this?
Is he kidding me?
Yeah, well, it is Open Lines Friday, but I didn't assault you, sir, because I did say you was a genius, so I just gave you a little bit of glory there.
Oh, thank you, Raymond.
Raymond, tell me what's on your mind about all this stuff.
Well, you know that when you've been around as long as I have, you just come up with stuff like that. Just like a doctor asked me, do you drink or smoke? I said, no, sir, I don't smoke. I don't drink, smoke, dip, or chew, and I don't go out with girls that do. So it's just little stuff you learn on being around. But all jokes aside, I was wanting to ask any one of you on that program, what do you think's going to be the final result if one of them idiots around there does decide to push that button and create a nuclear, fallout bomb or something hitting Israel or just anybody, Iraq, Iran, that what do you think's going to happen there as far as the United States going to get involved in this? And if it is, it is what it is, sir. Sometimes things happen that way, and history has a tendency to repeat itself in a lot of issues. And if it does, that's going to be a very terrible thing. Y'all have a very good morning, and thank you for allowing me to come on your program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Raymond. Appreciate your call, buddy. Wow, that was a mouthful right there.
Yeah, I mean, you're either all in or you're not.
That's it.
If we're going to do this, you got to be all in because there's never been an aircraft carrier that's transited the Strait of Hormuz that wasn't within missile coverage of the Iranian forces. Every carrier battle group, you're told this if you're on a carrier, you are now within, the entire time you're in the Gulf, you are within Iranian missile coverage.
I cannot believe our technology cannot take care of any.
Well, if you've ever seen those Phalanx, which is it's a Gatling gun system on the carriers that shoots missiles and stuff. If you've ever had the opportunity to see that, it is.
Well,
you can YouTube that. By the way,
have you seen the laser one they've got on there?
Yeah, I mean they are phenomenal. My very first general quarters station was in we ran a sonar prevention for torpedoes on the back of the carrier. We were right underneath one of those, and I had many opportunities to see those things take down targets, and it's impressive. But the point is, the entire time you're in the Gulf on a Navy ship, you're within missile range of Iran's forces. But like I just said, they're still flying F-14s, and the F-14 is a great aircraft. If you ever seen the movie Top Gun? It's a super aircraft. We don't even use them anymore because they're out of date for us. They still fly not current P-3s, but they fly the same P-3s that we are transitioning out of, but they fly a version that we flew in the 70s. Most of their military technology is old technology that we can take out, but you got to be all in or back away. And the last night's strike should show the Iranians that, hey, Donald Trump's serious. I totally came out and said, we're going to have 3 days of mourning. And I said this at the beginning of the show. Man, they bury their dead that night. That's part of that. That's part of the reason why they're mad at us for dumping Osama bin Laden in the Red Sea. That's why they're mad at us for dumping Baghdadi in the Red Sea, because they want to bury their dead that night and mourn that day and be ready to go the next day. So for them to take 3 days, to me, that's saying,
what are we going to do?
We better think about this because this
right.
guy is serious. You just basically killed. I said earlier that he was the equivalent of the commandant of the Marine Corps, and I had to go back and look that up to make sure. He's basically the number 1 or 2 guy in their entire military. He's not just the head of that group, but he was seen as the number 1 or 2 guy. Yeah. And so to take him out, and he was a bad guy. He was a head terrorist. He was a big-time terrorist. Okay, don't get me wrong. State-sponsored? No, he wasn't state-sponsored. He was a state employee. And so he's a bad guy, but we've got to be all in and be ready to go take him out. Can we do it with our present strength level and force level? You got to remember, there's a lot of military contractors over there. I've got lots of friends that I was in the military with that are over there that are poised for something like this to happen.
Well, we were talking about what you said. We had eyes on Osama every day, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe that we don't have capabilities instantaneously to take out multiple targets at one strike. It's like everything's marked, everything's plotted, everything's calculated, trajectories are made, ranges are made, teams are set up. It's just a matter of the green light being given.
And you hear people say, well, okay, if we go all in against Iran, what happens with Iraq? They're all the same, folks. They're all the same. And then you'll hear people say, well, that what happens when the Afghans come after us, when the Taliban comes in? Let me tell you something. If we go all in, you go all in and take out the Shia government that's in charge of Iran, Iraq, and parts of Syria. You go take them out, everybody else is going to be like, woo.
Trump said that. He said we could take it out in minutes.
Let's rethink what we're going to do here, because these guys are serious now. They are absolutely serious. And for some of these Democrats that say the regional powers in the area, the regional powers are either against us or beholden to us. You know, who's going to come after us? The people with the most money, the Saudis. They're not coming after us. They need our help in Yemen and other places like that. Qatar. Nah, they're beholden to us. They're a banking capital. They have no oil. Bahrain, same thing. They're beholden to us. Kuwait, they're still happy with us, and they're a banking capital too. They have no oil. The UAE, they want us to come there and vacation there, which if you ever have a chance to go to UAE for vacation, it is a really nice place to go on vacation.
Let's put
The Omanis, the Sheikh of Oman, he just wants us to be happy and be friends with him. He's happy. Yeah, he's got too much money. So, I mean, the regional powers, they want us there.
Let's put into play Hegelian dialectic on this scenario, okay? Because you have news reports saying that major cities across the United States are going up in their security. We have discussed that it would be very foolish for them to do anything anywhere, the Iranians, anywhere, because they just saw what we did to them, to one of their superior leaders.
He's taken the fight to them in their backyard. They would have never, 24 hours ago, before this strike, they would have never thought this would have happened. They would have never, ever, ever thought. As a matter of fact, the Ayatollah Khomeini said, there's not a damn thing the United States can do.
That's right.
And I don't cuss often, but I'll cuss there because those are his words. And there's a great meme somebody just put out and said, hey, your general missed his flight.
But roll back to what I was saying. Since people are concerned about terrorist threats here, Trump is going to go, don't even do a little time thing here, because I showed you what I can do. I will consider it, even if it's a small little terrorist act with a threat with a bomb vest and you kill 10 people. And I know that's tragic. Don't misunderstand me. But we're talking major conflicts over there. You do something small over here, I will hit you with another sledgehammer. I will pulverize you.
And to put this into perspective, for a lot of people that do know their history, when the Germans took Czechoslovakia, when the Germans took Poland, they put leaders into those countries. Okay? That's what the leader of Iraq is to Iran right now. The government of Iraq, there are Democrat senators and congressmen that have come out this morning and said, we violated the sovereign status of Iraq. That Iraqi government that we so proudly put into place 10 years ago is now a puppet government of Iran. That's all it is. It's a puppet Shia government of Iran. You got to get that through your head. Those countries are one. And what we did was last night, the United States showed the government of Iran, the Ayatollah Khomeini and the government, we don't care. We're going to hit you where we need to hit you. And let me tell you something. Those guys are sitting in Tehran right now calculating how fast they can figure out when an aircraft or a drone or a missile comes towards Tehran so they can get in their underground bunkers. That's what they're doing right now.
Just to talk about this, I'm pretty sure, and correct me somebody if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure invading Poland was a false flag operation. I think Hitler set it up where it made it look like Poland supposedly attacked them.
And then they put a government in charge that was there. That's what Iraq is right now. They're a puppet government.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a break. We come back. Your phone call, 866-89-LOGIC. Stream us live at logicnation.us. Social media, Facebook at Logic Nation Radio, and YouTube at youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio. See you on the other side.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years, as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in names and numbers.
One in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.3333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi. Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.3333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation, January 3rd, 2020. Matt, your host, here with Susan Sturl, Bill Whitmire, Republican Chair of Milam County. And we got all sorts of things going on. We've been discussing a lot of things. If you want to be on the show, give us a call, 866-89-LOGIC. Listen, I've got a license to carry class January 11th. If you're looking to take a class, now's the time because I'm extremely booked. I just had a cancellation, which I was able to fill back up with January 11th. So if you're looking to get a license to carry class, that's Saturday, January 11th, 10 o'clock in the morning. Go to aaronsgunshop.com. Go to the license to carry page, the LTC page, and you can sign up there. Give me an email at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com or just give me a call. One way or another, if you want to do it, I would do it soon and get your seat reserved. Also, this Friday, today, is 2 for night. So if you want to do some shooting on an indoor range, come on out. It's your guest is free, or both of you are half price. Which way floats your boat, trips your trigger, and makes you happy. Then also next Friday, the second Friday of the month, will be the round robin competition. Look, with all the stuff that's going on here, the shooting in the church and all that, this is a great opportunity, especially if you got a license to carry, to enhance your skill and maybe even win a gun or something if you're eligible for it. Okay, so check it out. And the rules for the competition are at aaronsgunshop.com homepage at the top there. Click on the link. That'll give you the rules. Also, I want you to listen. We're posting my podcast from the High Cap Adventure Show, and you can get it on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify. I got new episodes every Friday, so check it out. And I think you'll like it and share it with everybody you know. Susan, let's talk Logic Fest.
So Logic Fest is January 24th, 25th, and 26th, and it's going to be held at down in Fredericksburg, Texas. Great place to go and enjoy yourself. But you can book at the Windcrest Inn and Suites, Sunset Inn and Suites, Econo Lodge, Barista's Guest Quarters. I'll give you the phone number to call in order to make reservations. It's 830-997-9811. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a great dinner on Friday night at Crossroads Saloon and Steakhouse. And then on Saturday in the morning, we're going to have a great breakfast from 7 to 9:30. But from 8 to 10, Ed's going to do his Law Talk show. And Common Sense with Con will be from 12 to 2 p.m. Dinner at Allstead Brewery. Midnight Country Dancing at Crossroads on Sunday, January 26th. And then there's a farewell breakfast. But it's a great time of like-minded folks come together. We talk about politics and the things that are important, to the country. And
if you've been there before, if you've been there at Logic Fest last year, give us a call. Tell us about it. Share your experiences with it. We're getting a call in. But, Bill, you got your own little podcast going on. Tell everybody about it.
Oh, yeah, we have a Bleacher Bum Radio podcast. We used to have a radio show called Bleacher Bum Radio. We've changed that into a podcast. We actually dropped the first podcast last night. You can find it on SoundCloud. Just search for Bleacher Bum Radio. You can download it, listen to it whenever. SoundCloud app is a free app, both on Google and iPhone. So we just talk about Central Texas sports. Like I said, the first official one went out last night. We taped it last night, and then all kinds of things changed afterwards. So
I know how you feel.
Yeah.
I did paperwork.
I mean, you did all this prep work, went to bed at 9 o'clock last night, and then we whacked, great attack over in Iraq and killed one of the bad guys, and it just changes the whole show.
Okay. It's
and some of that stuff carries over all the time. When you prep, stuff carries over. Even when you do a podcast and you think you got it scripted, one of the guys on the podcast brings up something, and you go in a whole other direction for 10 minutes. So some of it's scripted, it carries out, but you just never know. So you can find us on SoundCloud at Bleacher Bum Radio.
Now, Bill, you said this was the first time you knew who my real life author was based on
just who the quoter was. Yeah.
Since nobody has called to give the answer to the quote, why don't you tell me who the author is, and I'll give you a pen. I'll give you a pen.
We've given so many hints, man. You
no, how many more can you
can't
give?
Get any satisfaction. Wild horses. It's Mick.
It's Mick.
It's Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger quote. So there you go. Here's a pen.
All right.
Look what you want. Susan?
Bill Whitmire gets it, huh?
He gets it.
Yeah. This is the first time you've done it when it was a non-fictional person.
I got it on Friday.
I'm just like, oh, man, I know who that is.
Susan, you painted a painting for me, and it looked great, and I appreciate the beautiful brush strokes. Why don't you tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, too?
So I'm on Sterl Fine Art Studio at Facebook. So you go to Facebook and you type in Sterl Fine Art Studio and like me and share me and
how do you spell
follow
Sterl?
me. STERLE, Sterling without the ING and the E at the end. So, and I'm also going to have classes start January 16th. And you can go on there later today. There'll be a Facebook post and the information on that class. And it's a 6 weeks class. I teach 7 elements of painting and drawing. I can teach you drawing. If you've never done it, I can teach you from the ground up. So,
that's fun. It
is fun.
It's not only something to learn, it's just a nice time out.
It's good for couples, too. It'll be good. It's a good thing to come do together where you're not on your phones and you're not watching TV.
Do you do body painting?
No, we don't do body painting.
I was just thinking couples, Valentine's is coming up.
You can come and be one of our, models if you would like to be.
I'm talking about like having curtained off cubicles in the couples.
No, that's your idea. You can do that if you want at your gun range.
And I bet there's a lot of people going, hey, that's a great idea, man. That's a great idea. All right, everybody, we're about to take a break. Give us a call, 866-89-LOGIC, 866-895-6442. It's free for all Friday. Tell us what's on your mind. Stream us live at logicnation.us, social media at Facebook at Logic Nation Radio, and YouTube, youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio. See you on the other side.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family-owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver in 50 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas, and our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. It's 1961 with Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Art Coons, the owner of ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to ANC Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. ANC Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin.
I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it, let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
Welcome back, everybody, to Logic Nation. Matt, your host here. We're streaming live at logicnation.us. You get to see, if you learn how to read lips, you get in on the conversation on the backside of the mic. Give us a call, 866-89-LOGIC. Stream us live, logicnation.us, social media, Facebook at Logic Nation Radio, and YouTube at youtube.com/Logic Nation Radio. I say it fast because it's protocol. You should all know it by now, but I should probably slow it down. I got a couple calls. One's on air, one's not, so I'll take the one on air. We got Craig. Craig, it's always a pleasure, and I appreciate you listening and calling. What's on your mind, buddy?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about a little bit about what y'all had already been talking about how the government and the Democrats want to keep America dumbed down. I think the D that they say stands for Democrat ought to be demonic or devil, because they are so freaking evil, man. People don't realize that how deep that their mind control goes, not only with all of our children and how long that they've been doing it.
They've been won't teach our children the correct history. They want to take all the masculinity away from all of our children. They've been pushing the LGBT movement for years.
Don't forget the Q.
They want to take everything away from men to dumb down, so they can have little wussy robots. They can push them around. They know that they're not going to rise up against anyone, and they know that the World War II veterans are all gone. They're old and gone, and then you've got some of the Vietnam vets, but the new guys that are out there fighting for us have been. Some of them are there, and some of them are not on board with our program, and some of them don't believe in what they're fighting in, and because they have mixed emotions, because they were brought up brainwashed in this environmental schools, our younger education, they feed them crap, and so you look at what all the Democrats do. They're opening abortion clinics, and they're killing off our babies, and then they're feeding them a bunch of crap that's not true. They're telling everybody in the world that America is evil, and that we're a bunch of capitalists that need to be that socialism needs to be pushed, and they're inviting terrorists and immigrants to come into our nation. And they really did it under Obama because he was a Muslim president. He did everything he could to get America wiped out. And we're fighting against every day for America to just keep our head above water, to remain America. And every day, the just to save manhood, just to save honor, just to save heart, just to save someone who has the ability to pick up and fight against the government is trying to be taken away every day. And they keep taking away our gun rights and our gun laws. People, wake up. Wake up. What is wrong with y'all? Drinking the Kool-Aid. Drinking the Kool-Aid. Realize who these Democrat people are. They are Satan.
Greg, you said a tremendous amount that is I can't argue with you. I can't argue with it at all. I just want to highlight our men and women in uniform, and that is there may be some who fit that category, but I would say the majority of them are fine fighting forces, doing it out of love and loyalty and duty to country. I don't want to take that away from anybody, but yes, there are some who try to get in there to utilize it for their self-benefit.
Two biggest things, man. I mean, the two biggest things. I hear this a lot from people, and I'll tell you this, Craig. If your radio's up, man, can you turn it down a little bit? I think we're getting some feedback on that. But two biggest things about it is we don't do the dinner table anymore, and we don't go to church as a family anymore. You know, whether you believe in church or not, you know, a religion or not. You know, I hear a lot of people say, "Well, I don't believe in religion. I believe in God, but I don't believe in religion." You don't get your family into the church, and as men in America, we've dropped the ball on two things. We don't do dinner at the table anymore as a family and talk about things. That is such a big deal for children, for young people, and then getting them into a church and getting them involved in a church and showing them as a dad. You know, 93% of families go to church. 93% of kids stay active in a church or with a church family if their dads are involved. If their dads aren't involved and their moms are, that number drops drastically down to about 40%. 40%. 50% of your youth is managed because of how the leadership of the father and the family. And that dinner table, to me, everything starts at the dinner table.
Can't concur with you more, because the dinner table is where you get to learn everything, talk, and unite, and just get to know each other better. We're going to take a break. See you on the other side.
All right, everybody in the car. Let's go.
What are we going to do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure, if you want.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
What about a bike ride? No, I want to fish.
Oh,
I've never been fishing.
Honey, we can do it all.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not.
Is it going to be long?
No, sweetie.
I bet it takes forever.
It's not that far.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already? No way. Come on.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Getting near 11, and I've got to do a product spotlight for one of our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Logic Nation, January 3rd, 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, this program cannot stay on the air without support from our sponsors. And I ask very much so that you, the listening audience, support those sponsors. It's the circle of life. You support them, they support us, and hopefully we put on the air good information that you can use and take with you and share with others. So ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, my good friend Arch Kuntz, he's owned it there for quite a while. I've been friends with him for just about as long as he's been open. And he sponsors my old show, and he sponsors this show. And I wanted to spotlight one particular product. I did this some time ago. It was the Smith & Wesson Shield 380 EZ. And the reason that was such a big hit was because a lot of women specifically, and Susan, you're here, maybe you can help me out with this. A lot of women have a hard time racking the slide of a firearm.
Yep.
I think it's just because they're not used to it. If you're a woman coming into the scene.
It does take a little practice because you have to put your hand and push and pull against the, your hands. And
it's a technique.
And
once you learn the
something
technique,
you do.
It's good to go.
Yeah, you got to learn it.
But on the Smith & Wesson EZ, the 380, tremendous success. But it was a little 380, although it's good. I mean, the way they got ammunition now, the 380 can be bolstered.
The 380
up.
works.
It works. But now they've got the EZ 9mm. And so if you're looking to have a 9mm pistol, ladies, gentlemen, elderly who have maybe some arthritis and having a hard time, the Smith & Wesson Shield 9mm EZ is the way to go. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you might want to check, Susan. I think we got a picture of it posted on the Facebook page, or it should be there. And if it's not, you can look it up. But ANC Firearms got it. And what's really nice about it is if it has a very easy slide to manipulate. The magazine, when you go to load it with cartridges, has a kind of a pull tab on the side of the magazine, and the spring is easier for you to pull down so that you can load it easier. The trigger is easier to squeeze. It's got a much lighter trigger pull. It's got a grip safety to it, which makes it very safe, and also a ambidextrous side lever safety up there on the slide. It's got a round indicator, which I kind of like because when you have the firearm in your hand, let's say it's dark, and you want to do that press check and say, hey, is this thing loaded? Well, you can run your finger across the top of the slide and feel the tab sticking up and say, oh, there's one in the chamber because the round indicator tab is sticking up. It's a very sleek-looking design. It's thin. It's lightweight. It's easy to use. Shoots a standard 9mm cartridge. So it's cheap to shoot, to practice with. Get your supportive self-defense rounds and utilize that for protection. And the price is right. And you just need to go to ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer. Give them a call. It's 254-983-4417.
It is on Facebook. It's a Shield 9mm EZ. So
go to Facebook at Logic Nation Radio. Check out the picture. It's a pretty gun. If you're looking to get your woman or significant other, or if you got some type of challenge with your grip because of arthritis or injury, this is a great gun to consider due to the fact it's easy to manipulate. The price is right. The caliber's right. It's just a good gun for what it's built for. So check it out. Give them a call, 254-983-4417. I had a call from Old Dog asking if I did point shooting classes. Man, that's all I teach is point shooting. What I'm teaching is self-defense classes. And self-defense, if you're going to aim a pistol with one eye open, you're wasting time and you're not seeing but only half as much. So when you go to shoot for self-defense, both eyes need to be open. And you need to learn how to point shoot. And it's actually quite easy. You just need somebody to show you the proper method. And once you go, you won't come back. It almost becomes difficult to shoot with one eye open. So, yes, I do that. And if you're interested, I can do it in an all-day class. I can do it in half-day classes. Need 5 people or more to do it. Feel free to check it out, aaronsgunshop.com. Check it out. Give me an email. Let me know what you're thinking, or give me a call, and we'll set something up for you. Bill, you got any final parting words?
Man, I don't know. We've said just about everything you could say. Just have a safe weekend. Remember, if you're writing a check, I did talk to Baker because I saw this online, and he said, yeah, use the date 2020. Don't just put 20. I saw that online. Somebody said don't put like 1-3-20 on checks and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Because you could make that 20 into 20-something else.
Good point.
You know, I saw that online. I asked a banker last night, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea. You should put all 4 digits this year." That is a very good idea. So.
Susan, we got about 20 seconds.
God bless everybody. Have a good weekend. Take care. Have fun. Right.
It's been a pleasure, and come on out and see me tonight at Aaron's Gun Shop in Cameron. It's 2 for a night. It's either one gets free or you both get half. I don't care. However you want to do it. We'll take a break. We'll see you on the other side of next weekend.
One in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes?